When I was a kid, I was really infatuated by houses. In fact, there was a brief period of my childhood, probably around ages 12 to 13, that I actually wanted to be an architect. And a big part of the reason why was because growing up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there were so many new developments being built all around me that I couldn't help but develop an infatuation with all of these big houses, these McMansions with 5 bedrooms and a theater. And I told myself one day I'm going to get a house like that. Well, it wasn't until I went to Europe and actually spent some time in Europe that I realized that for as nice as those houses look and for as good of a deal as they may seem like, it's actually just smoke and mirrors, just like a lot of other American things. And in this video, I'm going to be reacting to TikToks that showcase why American homes are of lesser quality than European homes. So without further ado, let's get into this first video. American versus UK houses.
Differences between American houses and UK houses. Number one, what don't you see?
If this is the front door, I'm going to say a mail slot. But looking out of the window, it looks like that's a deck. And I'm assuming this is in the US because I know ADT, that's an American security system. I'm pretty sure at least. Usually in the US, you won't have a deck in the front, you'll have a deck in the back. So I don't know.
There's no letterbox to get your...
Okay, so I was right. There's no letterbox, there's no mail slot. And that was actually something that I noticed in the Netherlands after a while was, wait, it doesn't seem like a lot of people here have mailboxes. And I mean, this is one of those things that it's pretty inconsequential for your day-to-day life. Let's be real. Having a mailbox or a letterbox, I mean, if you have a house, you're doing pretty well. But when there's inclement weather, I would imagine it's much more convenient to have a letterbox than to have to go outside and go check your mail and have an awkward encounter with your neighbors.
Mail every day. You have to go on a 5-mile hike directly to that thing over there, which is called a mailbox. Number two, no houses have gates on the front. Everything is just open.
So this is highly location specific. I don't know where she's at. The architecture looks incredibly obscure. I would definitely say either in the Midwest somewhere or maybe on the East Coast, but in LA, for example, they definitely have gates in the front. One thing I will say though is that in the US, if you see gates in front of the homes, it either means you're in a very high income neighborhood or a very dangerous neighborhood, no in between.
3, radiators. Where does your heat come from?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm having trouble understanding her accent. It's taken me an extra second to process everything she's saying. She said radiators.
There's none anywhere. That is where all your heating and aircon comes from, through all the vents in the floor.
This must be an older house too. I can tell by her ceilings as well. This is an older house with a new fridge. But generally in newer homes, the vents are gonna either be high on the wall or they're going to be on the ceiling. I never really took the time to pay attention to where the vents are located in Europe. As a matter of fact, I think in the Netherlands they had those units kind of on the wall. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but those big units that are attached to the wall. But I don't know if one is more or less efficient than the next. Generally speaking, it seems like Europeans are a lot more, I won't even say enamored, but a lot more considerate of efficiency. So I kind of just have to assume that that's a more efficient setup. But let me know in the comments if you know more about that.
Before, every fridge, freezer is oversized. Like, it's designed that you'll always be able to fit a massive fridge freezer in your houses.
And the reason why is because Americans typically buy much larger sized groceries. So you have to be able to put it all in there. But it's interesting because, I mean, when you think about how much food you can fit in there, how much of that food is actually healthy for you? Because you're not going to eat this much food in a week or a week and a half. And if most of that food is not spoiling, it either means that it's prepackaged, which we know is unhealthy for you, especially in the US, or it seems like it's fresh food, but it has a lot of artificial preservatives in it. So that's a pretty interesting one right there.
Freezer in your houses. This blows my mind. Every single bathroom, you have a socket near the sink. A socket near the sink.
You know what? That does kind of weird me out sometimes. I definitely try not to use that socket next to the sink. We have that here in Vietnam as well, and I believe that was also the case in Thailand and maybe even in the Netherlands. In fact, it was, because I think one of my girlfriend's family members had an electric toothbrush. So maybe that's just a UK thing that they don't have that. Let me know if you have sockets by the sink in your country.
Like, yeah. Most American houses, of all the ones that I viewed, and my house, will always have a main bathroom that leads into the master bedroom.
Wait.
A main bathroom.
She's just brushing over this bathtub like this is normal or something. This is not normal, even by American standards. I don't know how much this tub cost, but this is massive.
Will always have a main bathroom that leads into the master bedroom.
I feel like ensuite bathrooms are a lot more common in the US. I remember when I was a kid and I'd be drafting up floor plans on Microsoft Paint, I would always put ensuite bathrooms for each of the bedrooms because I hated sharing a bathroom with my sister. But in Europe, I feel like it's not very common to have ensuite bathrooms just in general, whether for the master bedroom or any of the secondary bedrooms. In fact, I don't know if the concept of a master bedroom is really even much of a thing in Europe. Let me know in the comments because it didn't seem like it from what I recall.
Next thing, so a bedroom in America can't be classed as a bedroom unless it has a closet inside. So in England, we just buy a wardrobe. It's rare that you'll get like a walk-in closet. Over here, it's completely normal.
No, this is not completely normal. It is not normal to have a whole entire window in your closet like this. Walk-in closets are definitely more common in the US than in Europe. But the interesting thing is that for as many Americans that have these walk-in closets, Europeans dress significantly better. Now, I'm not trying to turn this into an American versus Europe thing. I'm just trying to observe the differences as objectively as possible based on my own experiences, but that is pretty fascinating that Americans will have these big walk-in closets, have all those clothes in there, and still can't dress.
To have a walk-in closet in every room. The spaces between houses. You're just so separated. Like there's so much, you could literally in England build another 2 houses there and all be conjoined. But here, in most places, you'll find that everything's spread out and open between.
Yeah, and this is a big part of the reason why the US is not walkable. Obviously, it's not the main reason or the only reason, but it is a reason. And if you want to know more about that, check out Not Just Bikes on YouTube because he explains that better than I ever could. On to the next video.
This is a German wall.
Okay, so this right here, this was something that I noticed when I went to the Netherlands. This was also true in the Netherlands, that the concept of punching a hole in the wall does not exist there. That literally does not exist. You don't see any plaster over a hole that was previously there like you will in some American homes. I know that at one of my friends' houses growing up, they had put a few holes in the wall. And it's actually relatively easy to put a hole in the wall in an American house. If I weigh around 85 kilograms, were to run into the wall at a decent speed, I would at the very least put a significant dent in the wall, depending on what part of the wall I hit. If you listen to the sound that his fist is making,
This is a German wall.
it doesn't matter how fast I run into that wall. I'm breaking at least a few bones.
Made out of bricks and plaster.
And look at how thick it is. 10 inches thick.
This is an American wall.
Yep, you can hear the hollowness. You can definitely hear that.
It's made out of paper, and air. And our exterior walls are made out of the same stuff.
Just a little.
I didn't know the exterior walls were made out of the same material. The interesting thing is I got a very good look at how American homes are built because when my family moved into the neighborhood I grew up in, the neighborhood was still incomplete. So my friend and I used to run around the unfinished houses, and it really is just wood. It's just a bunch of wood, and then they just kind of slap the walls on top. And they can get houses up fairly quickly. That's how they're building so many new homes in the US so quickly. It's because they're just low quality.
Technically should say Arizona.
So let me know in the comments what the walls are like where you are, because maybe it's just a German and Dutch thing that the walls are thick like that. But I know for sure in the US, any grown man is going to be able to put a hole in the wall with just his hand. On to the next. Actually, before we get onto the next video, another thing I noticed, just kind of on that same topic, is the doors. The doors in the US seem to be a lot lighter weight. And at least the doors in the Dutch houses that I was in felt a lot more solid. So the notion of ramming a door or kicking a door down in the Netherlands seemed almost impossible. You'd have to be a considerably strong individual to do that, or you need to have some sort of extra equipment on you. In the US, I'm not going to say it's easy to do, but it's easier for sure. On to the next video.
I'm with you. Just need to get the mail. You alright? Oh, sorry. Didn't realise the mail had come. Don't you...
Again, that letterbox and mailbox thing. It's an insignificant difference, but it's definitely strange to see the other side of that for the first time.
Just wish you had more fridge space. Any big. This food...
That fridge is still bigger than the fridge that we have here in Vietnam, and my girlfriend and I, we have plenty of leftover space.
pantry may be small, but it holds all our essentials. Yeah. What he said. You don't...
You know what?
All our...
No, you know what? I don't know if that's maybe just a UK thing, but they definitely had pantries in the Netherlands, from what I recall. At least the houses that I went into, I'm pretty sure they all had pantries. So let me know in the comments if your country generally has pantries in the homes.
Essentials. Yeah. What he said. Are you done with that cup? We'll just put it in the dishwasher. I can run a load after. Are you done with that? Yeah, we got a dishwasher. May. Two...
So they have dishwashers in the Netherlands too. That was another thing that pretty much every house I went into had. Here in Vietnam and when we were in Thailand, that was not the case. I've come to realize it's honestly, I'm not going to say wasteful because maybe it uses a similar amount of water. I don't really know. If you know more about that, comment below. But time-wise, it really doesn't add much extra free time to have a dishwasher, because you still have to load the dishwasher and take the dishes out. And in that same amount of time, you can just wash the dishes and dry them off or put them on a drying rack.
Car garage and still not enough space to park our RV. Look at the size of the steering cupboard. You could go camping in there.
Garages, that's another big thing. One thing that I don't think enough people talk about is that in the US, especially in those newer neighborhoods, it's fairly common to have a 3-car garage or even a 4-car garage. Psh, crazy.
You don't want to look in here. This laundry room is unsightly. Washer and a dryer. Don't you dare use it though.
Something that I've noticed is that in some places they put the washer and or dryer in the kitchen. In some places they put it in the bathroom. For the places that don't typically have laundry rooms. Ironically enough, we actually have a laundry room here in Vietnam. But let me know in the comments where you have your washer and dryer if you have them.
Here is the big sofa. The mini one's upstairs. I mean, there's only 2 of us. If a third person comes, we just put up a deck chair. We decorate our house with joy. We only got this side of pop of colour. Our house.
I'm so grateful, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, I promise, but I'm so grateful that my girlfriend does not have a propensity to put stuff on the shelves like this. I cannot for the life of me understand why people do this. I just can't. I'm a minimalist, so I don't like having a lot of stuff to begin with, but this, I'm not gonna lie, I would have to just get rid of this.
With joy. We only got this side of pop of colour. Don't judge me, but this house only has 2.5 bathrooms. Only one bathroom, but it's got a shower and a bath. And of course,
And
bathroom, but
I think I mentioned this earlier, but having that detachable shower head, actually I think that might have been in another video, but having that detachable shower head, that is something that I need now. I'm not gonna lie, that has turned into a need. After experiencing that in Europe, is he wearing his shoes in the tub? Shoes in the tub is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, having that detachable shower head, that's a game changer.
it's got a shower and a bath. And of course you need a ceiling fan in every room. A heater in every room. I mean, you need it.
This is what I mean by those big vents. This is actually exactly how they looked in the Netherlands.
Don't ya? Just gonna turn the temperature down. All this walking's giving me a sweat. Just gonna open the window. I'm sweating my tits off. These windows are thinner than the walls, which are made of wood. I blame this brick insulation. It keeps the heating even in.
I've heard about this. I've heard that because the materials are typically thicker, the walls are thicker, they're made of brick instead of wood, it really does trap the heat in. So you kind of just have to go outside or, to his point, open the window. But it's also very climate specific because in the UK, you really don't need AC. In Texas or in Arizona, it's literally a non-negotiable. You will die without it.
In the summer, if your master bedroom doesn't have an ensuite, what are you doing? Master bedroom here, bathroom here. It's like an ensuite. Imagine a world without a walk-in closet. I'd pass away in America. I don't mean to brag, but this wardrobe is massive. It may be small, but sometimes I like to come out here to my backyard to escape it all.
Don't let these TikToks fool you. Not everyone has a pool. I know I for sure did not have a pool in my backyard growing up. We didn't even have a community pool. We had to go to the water park. But I don't know that I ever saw that in Europe. Not saying it doesn't exist, but I never saw that in the Netherlands. Someone with their own swimming pool.
And it's garden lovely. Got a bush and everything. Anyway, that's my house. Make sure you move your car before the HOA comes for my ass.
That is a whole thing right there. That is a whole thing. The HOA, the Homeowners Association. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but they will literally fine you depending on where you park your car at times. In some neighborhoods, you can't park your car directly in front of your house. You have to park in the driveway, or in some neighborhoods, I think you actually have to park in the garage. You can't even park in the driveway. Absolutely insane. Imagine spending $500,000 on a house and you can't even park your car wherever you want. At least they have ensuite bathrooms, I guess.